Welcome to the Esports Update. I am your host, Josh Mashlin, and today we have a few different things we're going to cover. We're going to cover Halo, the return of a pro. We're going to cover some Overwatch news that happened at the DICE event, and then we're also going to cover some League of Legends news happening down in Brazil. The first story we're going to talk about today is actually going to be about Evil Geniuses and their professional Halo team. Now, Evil Geniuses has been sponsoring Halo teams for the past couple years, but the most recent iteration of the team is actually going to be consisting of Roy, Lunchbox, Contra, and Predevinator. But effective immediately announced yesterday, Predevinator was actually getting dropped from the team just a week before the Halo World Championship qualifier in Las Vegas. Now, at such short notice, you wouldn't think that they'd be able to find a suitable replacement, but you'd be wrong. Evil Geniuses signed a player a couple months ago as an analyst for the Halo team. Now, the player you'd be thinking of was not just some random person, it's actually the Legend Ogre 2. Now, Ogre 2 is going to come out of retirement for this event, and they haven't said if they're going to continue with him through Worlds if they qualify, which I would assume they would because of roster locks, but they didn't say anything else after the move. So, who knows what this squad will do, and I hope they do well. In other Halo news, coming from Bonnie Ross herself, announced at the DICE convention that just happened a couple days ago, is that Halo will have a feature returning to its platform after Halo 5, which I'm assuming is to be Halo 6. The feature returning is going to be split-screen cooperative gameplay. Now, if you're like me, you probably started on an Xbox playing Halo 1, playing Halo 2. I used to carry my Xbox to my neighbor's house just so we could play together. And this feature is something that's been missing recently, and as of just last tournament, I was actually sitting in a hotel room and someone brought their Xbox One and we were trying to play split screen and we couldn't on Halo 5, so we actually ended up playing MCC. So I, for one, am very excited this feature is returning to the game, and I hope that there are other features in the works that are returning to the game as well. Also coming out of the DICE convention, we have more Overwatch news. Now, Overwatch was nominated for 6 awards at the event, the first including Game of the Year. Now, of these 6 nominations, they actually swept 4 of them, winning the aforementioned Game of the Year. They won Action Game of the Year. They also won Outstanding Achievement in Online Gameplay and Outstanding Achievement in Game Design. Now, piggybacking off this news, the Overwatch team decided that they were going to announce more information regarding the Overwatch League. They announced at the event that Overwatch League will begin sometime this year in the 3rd quarter, so 2017. They also announced that to get into the league, they're going to be using previous placements and achievements and other tournaments hosted for Overwatch. They also announced that the league is going to host multiple teams from all over the world. They also led with some speculation saying that the beginning of the league will obviously be working towards experience, and that 2018 will be a much smoother transition for teams and people competing in the league. In other controversial news, you have an interview from former Tainted Minds League of Legends coach making the rounds in the news. Now, in this interview, the former coach says that Tainted Minds has been mistreating its players and that it is actually in contract disputes with its players. Now, CBLOL is a League of Legends circuit that runs in South America. Now, in South America, the coach goes on in the interview to continue to say that the organization's team house would go without power for multiple days at a time, that the air condition itself did not work, that the PCs provided would actually crash repeatedly to the point where they missed 2 weeks worth of scrims because their PCs could not work, and that there was mold actually in the house. Now, a representative from Jessup Entertainment and Sports Lawyers actually confirmed to multiple news outlets that they have an ongoing contract dispute with the players and the organization, but they would not go into any further detail. Now, if any more news comes up from this story, I'll make sure to report it, but from the looks of it, if everything the player says to be true, that then their contracts are terminated and that they are actually seeking a new organization home. But I do not condone any organization mistreating its players, because without the players, the organization would not be anything. So my opinion on the topic is very different, because it's just a he said, she said at the moment, and until more news comes up, I'm going to remain indifferent. In other news coming out of South America, we have CBLOL 8th place seeded team Brave Esports severing its year-long partnership with Premier Soccer League team Remo. Now, the reason Brave Esports cites for this is because of lack of communication and lack of dedication to the esports side of things. Now, the newly elected director, Monel, released a statement saying he has received 0 new propositions for salaries, contracts, or player management, or anything else regarding the esports side of things, and accuses the direction of the brand in trying to, and I quote, provoke a situation in the press. Now, Brave Esports renamed itself from Remo Brave back to Brave Esports and will continue to hold its spot in the CBLOL League and continue to compete. I would assume they're probably looking for new partnerships, but as far as this story goes, that's all they report. Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Esports Update. There are a couple stories that I did not cover in this video, but I did live tweet out, so if you guys want to view those stories, my Twitter is linked down below. Check them out and then tweet me your reaction to them. If there are other stories developing that you guys want me to talk about, make sure to comment down below and I'll do my best to cover them. Again, thank you guys for this episode of the Esports Update. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and tune in tomorrow for tomorrow's episode.